All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So it's week 8 of the NFL season, and the New York Jets, the 3-win Jets, are going to be taking on the 2-win New York Giants this Sunday, obviously in MetLife Stadium. This game is absolutely huge for both teams involved here. Obviously, the Giants are coming off a win, 14-7 against the Commanders last week. Defense was flat out awesome, and the Jets were on a bye week, so we had 2 weeks to prepare for this Giants squad. It's going to be huge. Everybody knows that the AFC is absolutely loaded this season, and quite frankly, every win is going to matter. Of course, you can say that every year, but this season specifically, where I really feel like with the extra wild card making the playoffs, right, 3 wild card teams, that's still such a crazy, I guess, rule that I have to, wrap my head around. Just not used to it. I just remember, growing up and just always having the 2. But in any case, with the 3 wild cards coming in, I still feel like there's going to be two to three teams that don't get into the playoffs that you can make an argument deserve to be there or are good enough to hang and compete with the rest of the teams that did make it in. So with that said, we take a look at where the Jets stand right now currently within the conference. In order to keep up with the AFC, we have to stack wins where we can get them. And this is a game, I gotta be honest with you, I feel pretty good about. Now, the Jets have dropped games before that I've felt pretty good about, but I do have a lot of confidence in this Jets team coming off the 2 back-to-back wins against the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles. And even, in that Chiefs game, I remember making that recap video. Of course, the Jets lost on primetime football, but it wasn't to me the end of the world. Like I really felt like the Jets grew a lot in that week. They put a lot out there, and you can make an argument, hey, if a call doesn't go against them, right? The Sauce Gardner jersey tug, or maybe C.J. Mosley catches the interception, or whatever the case is, maybe they hold the Chiefs on a 3rd and long or whatever it is, they could have actually won that game, and we could actually be talking about the Jets literally having 4 wins at this point, with wins over the Bills and Josh Allen, the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and the Denver Broncos, and of course the Eagles. I mean, just a simple switch like that could make all the difference. So again, I feel like the Jets are starting to really find their groove. They're moving in the right direction. And again, having the off week here, a nice period to reset, but also for the coaches, a 2-week stretch to prepare for the Giants. That's huge. Now, right now, I'm still not 100% sure on who's going to be the Giants' starting quarterback this week. Is it going to be Daniel Jones? Obviously, he's dealing with the neck injury. Or is it going to be Tyrod Taylor? And Tyrod Taylor, admittedly, his always kind of been one of my favorite players. I just really like the story of him just kind of being the backup in Baltimore for years on end, but then having an opportunity to just really play his style of football with the Buffalo Bills and Rex Ryan. I always thought that was pretty cool. And he's looked good. Tyrod Taylor has looked good. Is he a top 10 quarterback? No, obviously not. But if you want to talk about above average backup quarterbacks, guys that won't lose you the game, guys that will give your team a shot. Tyrod is 1-1 with the Giants this season. Again, beating the Commanders last week, doing enough to get the win. And then in that Bills game, it literally came down to the last play of the game. I think it was actually an untimed down. So Tyrod clearly gives the Giants a chance to win these football games. But again, Daniel Jones is the top 6 draft pick. He is the guy that, the Giants just gave all this money to, all this guaranteed money, the multi-year deal. So if he's healthy, I'm sure it will be Daniel Jones. But if he's not ready to go and it is Tyrod, I'm not sleeping on this Giants football team whatsoever. If you look at this Giants offense as a whole, there's been a lot of issues here. There's been a lot of hurdles that they've had to deal with, frankly. With injuries on the offensive line, I feel like we're constantly seeing new players there. We can take a look at where the Giants stack up against the rest of the league. I mean, they're last in the NFL in points and touchdowns per game. They're 30th in the red zone. They're 29th in yards per game. Yeah, this offense struggled. It has struggled for sure. Saquon Barkley has missed time. There's a lot of adversity here for this Giants offense. The defense, on the other hand, though, has performed a little bit better, and obviously they have a lot more star power there, specifically in the trenches. I mean, man, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, who else? A'Shawn Robinson, Leonard Williams, Okereke at linebacker, McKinney at safety. Banks at corner, right? First round pick. Like, they have dudes. The Giants defense, like, and Wink Martindale, right? You know he's going to get creative. You know he's going to bring the pressure. You know they're going to play hard for Wink. The defense really for this Giants squad is something that, you know, if I was a Giant fan, I would hang my hat on, right? These guys, you know, again, they might not be the best defense out there. They might not be putting up top 3, top 5 numbers, but it's a formidable unit for sure. They can go out there and win you the game. Look what happened last week against the Commanders here. So for me, when I'm looking at how the Jets match up with this Giants team, I got to be honest, understanding, you know, our strengths and weaknesses, looking at our defensive line going up against the banged up Giants offensive line, I feel great about it. Thinking about Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor going up against our cornerbacks and safeties, I feel good about it. Looking at how our linebackers have played this season, Quincy Williams and CJ Mosley, both guys have been playing, in my opinion, at a top tier level. I think they've just been fantastic, whether it's dropping back in coverage, coming up and stopping the run, in some cases getting after the quarterback, crazy enough, tackling ability, being where they need to be, diagnosing the play, defensive IQ, all the speed, explosiveness, all of these different traits that Mosley and Williams are bringing to the table. I feel great about how this defense stacks up against this Giants offense. Now, of course, you have to go out and execute, and there's a lot on the coach's plate here. This is the NFL, right? We can, like, we see upsets. You have to go out and actually play the football game. It's not one on paper here. So we have to keep that in mind, obviously, if you're Saleh, if you're Jeff Ulbrich. Now, if I had to talk about a concern that I had, it would probably have to be the Jets offensive line going up against the Giants D line. You would like to think that Hackett would have Hackett and Saleh would have a solid plan in place, for, you know, with having the 2 weeks to prepare. Whether it's like a matchup on matchup thing, whether it's even just something as simple as getting our guys healthy during our 2 week break here. But you would like to think that we're going to have a pretty solid game plan going in to maybe not put a lot of pressure on the offensive line to perform against the studs that the Giants have there. But again, admittedly, that is an area of concern. I don't want to see us not being able to run the football. I don't want to see Zach running for his life back there because he's getting rushed a lot, or we're in third and long situations, or, you know, he's having to bail out of pockets because of the Giants defensive line. I don't want him reverting back to old habits, you know, forcing the ball into double coverage, panicking back there, making, you know, ill-advised decisions with the football. I think Zach has looked really, really good these past couple of weeks in the sense of, you know, is he getting better at his weaknesses? And I think the answer is yes, right? With accuracy, with ball placement, with decision-making, I think that's huge. Diagnosing defenses, managing the game. I think at this point, you don't go from being horrible to elite in 1 or 2 weeks, 1 or 3 weeks. There's a step-by-step process here, and I think we're really seeing that from Zach. You know, as the weeks go by, is he perfect? No. Are there still issues there? Yeah, but he's getting better, and that's the main takeaway for me personally. So, Giants defensive line, Jets offensive line, a bit of a concern, and I also know that Martindale, in this week, you know, coming off a win, right, 2 wins in the year, because of their defense last week, they are looking at Zach Martindale specifically is probably looking at Zach Wilson saying, you know what, if we can get him confused, if we can bother Zach Wilson, we're going to have a chance to win this football game. If you think back to the Eagles-Jets game, you know, the Eagles beat the Jets in numerous categories: time of possession, more yards, more plays, better on third down, better in the red zone. They were just overall beating the Jets in major statistics here. Where do the Jets have more success? Turnovers, 4-0. And the Jets walked away with the win. The Giants understand that. They know that if they can create some turnovers and give their offense more opportunities, more chances to get in the end zone, or even kick field goals, they will have a chance in this game. So it should be crazy. I'm pumped up for it. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, go Jets.